Up until the 60s, almost half the population of the United States admittedly smoked cigarettes daily. This all changed when a report came out in the middle of summer of 1957 that linked smoking to lung cancer. Since then, a less deadly way of getting a dose of nicotine has been searched for. Everything from patches to gum, though nothing was the same as a cigarette, until a new form of smoking has recently been popularized, the e-cigarette. The e-cigarette gives users a way to quit smoking deadly cigarettes and still get the feel of smoking a traditional cigarette. This is an e-cigarette, or vapor pen, invented in 1963 by Hilbert Gerbert. It was then altered and patented by Chinese pharmacist Han Leek in 2003. I originally started using electronic cigarettes to get off the normal cigarettes. I knew they weren't good for my health, and I saw the electronic cigarettes as a healthier alternative to that, and have so far proven to be that.
It sounded safer. I was under the understanding that there's a lot less carcinogenics. There's actually nothing burning. It's just the vapor. So I was sure it was safer.
A, the less health risks. B, tastes good. Tastes a lot better than a cigarette does. You can do it inside. You can... Both of my parents are okay with me having a vape pen, still live at home, so I can come inside, watch some TV, use my vape pen, sit on the couch with my dad, and it's cool.
Well, it started as kind of just a social thing. I have older friends who do it. It's a great alternative to smoking cigarettes and tobacco products. Yeah, and just, it's kind of cool smoke tricks and the flavors and stuff. It's just a neat little hobby, I guess.
I aspire to be a singer and to sing for a living, and cigarettes and singing do not go well together. So I kind of wanted to continue smoking, but not smoking cigarettes.
You don't have to light up. You don't have to watch where you sit it down at. Convenience.
I think for most people it's simply just a healthier alternative to smoking. So essentially there's three main parts. There's a battery, there's an atomizer, and then there's the e-juice, which is pretty much your nicotine flavoring that gives you the sensation of that cigarette.
Basically, you hold the button in, inhale the vapor, and exhale the vapor as you would cigarette smoke.
And the battery will take this juice and vaporize it through the atomizer, which is essentially a wick. It's either a cotton or silica wick and some metal wire, special kind of wire that vaporizes that and produces your product, essentially.
You put the oil in the tank, attach it to the battery, then there's a button on the battery that you press, which activates a heating element.
Charge your battery. Charge leads up into here. There are two main kinds of tanks. You've got one with a bottom heating element on it and a tank that's got wicks.
So these two metal springy things on each side here are the coils, the heating coils, and it's basically just a piece of wire that's been wrapped, I think 6 times in this case, around a little post, and that's gonna heat up this wick here, this cotton wicking material, which is what's holding the juice, and that allows your juice to be vaporized. That is an atomizer. With these kind of units, you can get a lot thicker hit than you can with the smaller style like this here. It's a whole new world when you get into rebuilding your own vapes.
Vapor pens, like the one I'm using, runs around like $40, but but mine's a cheaper one.
They can go anywhere from around $20-$30 to over $300. It really depends on the quality of the pen you want to get.
There's starter kits that are like $35, $30, but then I've seen just batteries alone that run for like $150.
You know, once you have a charger and you have oil, it's much cheaper than buying cigarettes, you know, weekly or every couple days whenever you would, because one bottle of oil will last you for a good week and a half if you're not, you know, a fiend.
The starter packs are normally like $25, $30, but if you want to upgrade to new tanks, new batteries, they can run anywhere from $45 to $70 for a battery and like $20 to $40 for a tank. It can get pretty expensive.
Like I said, you could get a really expensive pen and it'll be worth your money because it won't break. You can use it as much as you want. You won't. All you have to buy for it is another heating element, which is like $3 or $4 every 3 weeks or so, and then just more oil depending on how often you use it. If you smoke cigarettes, say you smoke a pack a day, that's anywhere from $5 to $8 a day, $35 to $50 a week. Add that up with the math and the months and the years. Vapor pens are much cheaper. A bottle of oil will cost you $10 and could last you 3 weeks. In my experience, I've never had any negative side effects using a vapor pen.
I've heard a lot of different things about the health risks of vapor pens. There's some talk that, oh, it's worse than cigarettes, it'll make your lungs collapse and implode and all this terrible stuff, but honestly, that's just kind of all gibberish. It just doesn't, there's no evidence to support those claims or anything. There's not a lot of research that's been done on them yet, and if I find out there is a major health risk, then I'll probably stop. But for now, it is a lot healthier than cigarettes because you aren't lighting something on fire and inhaling it.
In my experience, it's better than cigarettes because I don't feel like shit if I don't use it. I won't, like, hack up black shit out of my lungs or something.
Nobody knows really the long-term effects of it. I'm not completely opposed to it still, just because I haven't experienced any negative effects from it yet. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens.
I think the only way they can go is up. At the rate that people are switching from traditional to electronic cigarettes, I think more and more people are going to catch that that buzz, no pun intended, on the electronic cigarettes, and so it's already a multi-billion dollar industry as it is, and I think it can only grow in popularity from here.
It's a super young industry. They've only been around for less than 5 years. So I think they've got a ways to go. They're going to become the next cigarettes, hopefully.
Honestly, ideally, they will overtake cigarettes as the primary form of consumed nicotine.
Throat cancer, lung cancer, oral cancer, all these things that like cigarettes or chewing tobacco can give you. Pens have not yet had any proof of negative health concerns, so I think that's great news for the vapor pen industry, that it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and more popular and more popular.
I think it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get bigger. It's going to keep growing because people are going to figure out what it's meant for and that it's not awful. And you know, I think a lot of people who smoke cigarettes are going to start smoking vapes, and I think it's going to become the new cigarette. Like, you used to smoke cigarettes to be cool. It used to be just the thing to do, and I think eventually that'll be vapor pens.
At the Kalamazoo Vapor Shop, where I work, we've had people that used to smoke cigarettes for 40, 50 years, and they've been vaping for, 5 months and haven't picked up a cigarette then. So electronic cigarettes have worked for them, they've worked for me, and they can work for any other smoker out there.